Well, hey, howdy. Welcome to the Camp Boondog Workshop, Saturday morning. Here's another little tech tipping project we're working on. One of my guys sent me a AGM mil spec that was a Wounded Warrior. Somewhere along the line, the font and the bung got twisted and the bung was all screwed up. So somebody tried to solder it, not successfully. Then somebody tried to solder it again, also sealed it up, but it was really an ugly job. Um, so he sent it to me to see if we can make it dance again. Look at how toasted this is. That's a good example that when you're soldering, heat, a lot of heat is not always your friend. Um, Surface prep is much more important than high heat. So what we're doing here, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? The bung is actually tearing loose from the font. Um, it could be soldered shut, but structurally, I'd be kind of worried about that. I wouldn't feel safe with it. So what we're going to do is actually reinforce the bung's union to the font. What I did was I got a big galvanized washer. I don't know if you can see this. I cut hex grooves in it, beveled the inside, so I can slip this right over the bung, and it won't, it won't spin. So what we're going to do is solder this in place so that the bung has some more meat to grab onto and the font has a little more, whatever, I don't know, grab, so this distressed area won't fail again. One of the things you got to do when you're soldering is surface prep. On this, we want the solder to really flow and grab onto everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-tin that. I got a product, it's called Oatly's number 95 lead-free tinning flux. I've used this on a couple other projects that showed you, but this is a perfect application for it. Now the thing is, to get it hot enough to work, you got to heat the bung up to the point where solder would melt. I don't want this bung, since it's detached from the font, to fall into the font, which would make a nasty, nasty job trying to get it out. I've got a gadget that I made here that I use a lot of times when I'm working on fonts and bungs that are don't have integrity. What it is, it's a dead valve. I drilled tap through for quarter 20, so I can screw this right into the bung, get a good grab on it, and then I just turn this down till I feel a little bit of resistance. I know that this gadget is going to support the bung even if the solder around it completely fails. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to heat this up, and I'm going to try doing it with my little torch first, just to show that you can do stuff with minimal amounts of heat, and then I'm going to apply the 95. So here we go. Once again, you want any kind of soldering, you want your surface to be as clean as possible. No grease, no dead bugs on it or anything like that. Let's see if we're ready. There, you can see how right away this Oatly's is starting to tin the brass surface here. What the tinning flux does, I'm not exactly sure the exact science behind it, but it makes solder flow much better so it can get a better grip on stuff. See, we're just using enough heat to make things work. We're not, it's not an outdoor barbecue or nothing. Alright, that looks like we're pretty well tinned around the whole thing. Give it a... And look at that. Okay, see? See, that whole area around the bung is tinned. Now, I'm going to unscrew this puppy and put my reinforcement collar on. I've already tinned the reinforcement collar, just so you don't have to watch and make this an excruciating, long, boring video. Alright, see, the inside of this is beveled a little so it fits over the bung better. Just enough of a little bit of a groove in there so I can slip it over the hex head. Put this guy back in, because now we're going to be applying a little more heat than we use for tinning. Alright, snug as a bug in a rug. And then what I'm going to do is apply Oatly's H2O. This is a water-based flux. I love this stuff because it just rinses off. It's not like all those petroleum-based fluxes that leave a, you know, oil sludge all over your project when you're done. I'm just going to butter this in a little. I actually should have done this before I put the reinforcement collar on, but I'm a poor planner. Come on, you stinking thing. There we go. Alright, so both surfaces are fluxed. Now we're going to heat it up, and I think I'm going to use a thinner flux wire on this. This one is rosin core. I would not use this for plating because the rosin would screw that up. This is no rosin core, lead free. This is also lead free but rosin core. What we're going to do when we get this all done is we're going to strip this guy down and give him a repaint. I might have to go to the bigger torch. I don't know. We'll see. Now the solder is starting to melt, but it's not bonding to the metal yet until it gets hotter. Alright, we're starting to get a little bit of a flow. A little more Oatly's on this, I think. Once again, I might have to go to the bigger torch, but we're going to try to do it with this little guy, just to see if we can do it with the little guy. There we go. Now I'm using a lot of solder because it's got to flow under the washer and fill up that gap between the washer and the font. And also fill in the crack that was the original issue here. Alright, so what happened is the solder is flowing between the gasket and the brass bung. The solder is flowing into that void between the two. But it's sucking up so much solder, I'm not going to waste all my rosin core. I'm just going to go to the big stuff here. And what I want to do is put enough solder in so I can see it actually starting to leak out a little bit from under the washer. Then I know that the washer and the font are making a good bond. Alright, see, I got a little oozing out there. I'm just going to go around the perimeter. Now, admittedly, this isn't a real pretty fix, but we're going to do a repaint on this guy anyway, and this is behind the, see, it's flowing there. That's what I want. I want it to flow between the two. so I know that we got a really good grip on this bung and just about done. Come on, there you go, baby. One more little kiss of solder and we'll have it. There we go. There we go. And once again, water-based, so cleans up real easy. Probably what I'll do is I'll come back with an abrasive wheel and just clean up a little bit of that shoulder, but is that hot? Am I going to burn myself? I don't know. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Finished repair. We saved this old AGM. And this is obviously much stronger than it was when it came from the factory. Alright, so that's it. Pre-solder with Oatly 95 tinning flux. Solder with Oatly H2O. They don't even pay me to promote their product. I really should get some money from them, but their stuff is so good I love to use it. Alright, that's it. You all have a really good Sunday. This is Saturday. Whatever, the weekend. Goodbye.